How is it going, guys? And welcome back to a brand new stream. Fernando here, aka JNandez87. Finally, people already waiting. The live stream is coming in. Playing some PLO 500. We're gonna probably play some more regular tables today as well. Some more higher stakes as well. We'll figure it out. But anyway, I'm glad you're joining me, of course. And we'll see if we can get the dice rolling here. Double gut shot, a 9 to a straight, king to a straight, and a flush draw. Now the flush draw isn't the greatest because the ace high flush draw could also be out there, but we're gonna call for $30. Looking at some turn cards. That is a beautiful turn. On table number 2, we got ace, queen 9-6 with 2 high suits against a pretty wide range in the cutoff. Let's go ahead and 3-bet that combo. And I mean, there's a lot of stuff that is happening on this ace king queen 8 board, so I could be potting at this point. I think that could definitely be reasonable. We're gonna pot at 104, and I'm gonna bet $30 on 10-10-4 rainbow. Alright, guys, he did call pot size bet. River is a jack, definitely not the worst river. We still have the nuts at least, but the question is, how much money can we get out of this dude? How many McDonald's menus? And I think the answer is probably 2, you know, like 10% of the pot here. Hard to fold for 10 bucks. We hope he doesn't raise, of course, because that means we're gonna split it. And we don't like to split big pots. We want to win big pots. Hard to fold. It hurts. That is the it hurts smiley. Hurts so much. Hurts so much. A lot of people already here in the chat before the stream is officially live. He goes out and folds, unfortunately. A lot of discipline there. I thought you have retired. Man, I'm actually not that infrequently live, I guess, these days. If you want to be informed and stay on top of things, of course, check me out on Instagram, where I usually do at least a story before I go live, or join our Discord channel for free. And I guess most of the people who are live already now, although I'm not live in terms of the delay, they heard from this stream on Discord or of course on Instagram. So over here we open the MP big blind calls and flopping top 2 pair. I'm gonna continue the turn by potting. River is very safe. My opponent can easily have a hand like ace 3 or ace 8. And obviously we want to get value from both. I don't think we can go too large. We want to get a crying call here. So we're gonna go with a half pot, I think. And we get a fold, that's fine, cool too. I'm just checking the lobbies here. Of course, as a poker player, you always want to stay on top of things, which means you need to figure out, you know, where are the good games, flopping top set here without too much backup. We're just gonna go ahead and check. We're not blocking any of the straights. It's certainly not a great board for these two guys, but still, like, we don't necessarily want to lead all the good hands here. And this is a decent candidate to check. Wow. Excuse me. Excuse me, guys. I think we just turn quads. Now, of course, we could bet at this point, but also it's a decent card to bluff. value bet Finlay with an overpair of aces, maybe with spades on top. And also we give people a chance to catch up as well. And now that card is not really going to help people to catch up, but they might think that I'm bluffing because it's a pretty decent card to bluff on. One card straight is out there, nobody bet. No, we could be bluffing here for sure. Let's hope someone has 6-6. Just gonna stack them. Got 2 folds and ace 5-5 obviously is a beautiful hand to 3-bet here on the button versus the cutoff. Aggressive dynamics are pre-programmed, and we flop bottom set on a very draw-heavy board at SPR 5. And I'm torn to almost check behind, but I think there's a little bit too much value here to be gained from like combo draws and whatnot. And also, the way my runouts are, it's not the greatest. I'm not sure. I'm gonna play around and just check back here every once in a while. It's just that, you know, when he check raises, we're not gonna be super thrilled. And obviously we're gonna be ahead of his range, but we're not gonna just completely crush him. But when he calls, there are a lot of turn cards that aren't great. Now in this case, we obviously have a snap call down, and we have a boat. Of course, you can have 8-7, but there are 2 flush draws on the turn. We are capping our range a lot by not betting the flop, so we are really on top of things here. We could have obviously king, but apart from that, we're just completely crushing. Welcome to the game. He actually did flop a straight, and we ended up giving a lot of value. But that was pretty sick. He flopped straight, flop is set there. And, you know, we weren't in great shape against that hand on the flop, that's for sure. Let's have a look what that means in equities. Which also brings me to the first big takeaway, guys. Strategical takeaway. Take notes now. Time to take notes. Get some free information here. So on the flop, we had 35.4% equity against that straight. So the first big takeaway of this stream, guys, is don't try to play perfect, okay? Don't try to find the perfect solution for every hand. So betting the flop that we're checking, no, it's both fine. It both works out, you know? You don't want to be a robotic perfect guy. You're gonna, like, a lot of the decisions, they're pretty close to each other, especially when we have sort of like the medium to strong distribution. You can slow play, you can make arguments for slow playing, you can make arguments for fast playing. It's both totally fine. Here by the river, get checked all the way. My opponent bets now. I mean, we don't necessarily have such a strong value hand. We are blocking the straights, but there are tons of other hands as well. And on table number 2, we have Gerard here, who's very, very active pre-flop. 60% VPIP, king, queen, jack is a massive hand against him. So we are 3-betting. And on the flop, we're blocking tons of stuff. Blocking the flush draws, holding the spade, blocking the top pair hand. So we're going to bet fold here as deep as we are. The blockers are relevant just because it makes it less likely he will raise, which is important when it comes to equity realization, right? Because we want to realize our equity there with the overpair, backdoor flush draw, backdoor straight draw, trip outs and whatnot. So we don't want to waste a hand betting it raised. If we're blocking, we're getting raised less often. Oh, enjoying. Guys, life is good. Life is good. Hope you are also enjoying your life, guys. And that tonight's stream is adding to the experience. So we're getting squeezed here by an unknown player. Jack 10, 7. We are a little bit deeper in position. We got that suit. We got that position. And we got that urge to gamble a little bit, you know? Ooh. In the right moments. Just in the right moments, you know? Wow, he pots it, bro. That's a pretty big bet. It probably has aces or something. You know, we could obviously just go all in, but you know what? I'm gonna raise him up because I think it's kind of fun. $300, and of course, if we're beating this point, guys, I mean, there's way too much money in the middle in order to consider folding ever. I mean, even before my raise. So you know, sometimes, which brings us to our big takeaway number 2. Sometimes you gotta lose a stack. That's just part of the game. Sometimes there's nothing you can do or should do or feel upset about because two big hands run into each other. Hey, JNandez from Imba Jimba. Will you be doing some vlogs from Prague? Really enjoy the previous vlogs you have done. Yes, definitely. I'm actually gonna go to Amsterdam in the next weekend. So not this weekend, but in like 10 days. And I'm also gonna vlog from there. I'm gonna play the Poker Master Classics in Amsterdam. Visit the city for 3 days. So I'm gonna vlog there. And I'm also gonna vlog for EPD Prague in December. If you guys want to see these kind of vlogs, then definitely check out my YouTube channel. And I'm also going to do in-depth hand analysis for the PLO Mastermind from these live trips. Because live PLO is booming and a lot of people are looking for content to become better. A lot of money out there to be made. Still, nice to see you, JNandez. Do you have any tips for mindset developing podcasts or audiobooks? Just started with the Mental Game of Poker 1 and 2. You know, honestly, I built my mindset mainly from non-poker related books. There's a lot of mindset stuff to be learned that isn't in the poker category of books or audiobooks. But what are these books that I'm talking and referencing? Think about it. Well, I really enjoy listening to, you know, guys on YouTube, guys like Jocko Willing. He also is an author as well. In terms of mindset, Gary Vaynerchuk. I mean, he's more in the business type of mindset, entrepreneur type of mindset. But also, every poker player at the end of the day is also some sort of entrepreneur. He's an intrapreneur, so, or solopreneur, whatever you want to call it. I mean, mindset is mindset, right? All right, we're gonna come in here, obviously. Although our hand isn't great, our position really is and matters a lot in these four-way shallow SPR situations. When we do flop these massive combo draws that are great against one player, or decent at least against one player, but are really shitty against 2 and 3 players. So we're flopping here a pair, a straight draw, a flush draw, and a backdoor flush draw. So when these two players check, we can't fold anymore. Now this guy who squeezed definitely has some incentive of also trapping some stuff. Just saying, you know, if this guy jams and I overjam and he shows up with aces and diamonds, I'm not surprised. Let's put it that way. And now as it is, everyone is really short. We're potting it. We definitely want to see a lot of folds here. That would be amazing. Fold it. Nice. That's pretty sick. Everyone folds. Pretty nice pot there. The streak is back. JNandez poker. It's never gone. It's never gone. Nigma forever. What's up, buddy? Welcome to the live stream. Pecor. Day he pokers says, JNandez, I was thinking about you yesterday. Party announced they would be stop offering games in Switzerland, and I felt bad for you. Well, what can you do? You know, Poker Stars will be around for a little bit longer though. And as I usually like to say, we're gonna figure it out along the way. Ace Jack 8 here. So I'm definitely not too concerned. I'm bet here in position. I mean, we could also check that kind of hands. We could check. The board is pretty good for my range. Bring in here. Trying to bring in Hold'em Manager. 1 sec. Okay, so here we're gonna call. And not a great turn card, obviously. Very nice hand. King, Queen, 10, 10 double suited. We're flopping top pair and pretty good flush draw. Well, the standard is certainly to check here. Look at some turn cards. Well, that is a pretty good turn card. And the thing is, I don't think our opponent can call too large of a bet, to be honest, because we are blocking the hearts as well. So we're just gonna go with 23-10. Beautiful river. And on the left-hand side, a very short stack player 3-bets me while holding double-suited kings. He has ace-x. We get 40%, turns to 80%, turns to 90%, turns to 100%. Welcome to the great game. And over here, we're going to bet small on the river. It's very hard to get called, but also I don't think we're going to induce a lot of bluffs by checking either way. We get called. Interesting. What did he have there? What did he have? Aces, really? That's very interesting. Didn't even stab the flop there with his aces and the ace of hearts. Yeah, Jocko willing. Exactly. You know, I think the most important thing about building your mindset is that you have to find someone that you are receptive to. And that's any way through, which brings us to our big takeaway number 3 from today is you learn best from people that you are receptive to. And that's why it's sometimes difficult to learn from, for example, family members, because we already have a history of them and some conflicts potentially. And if you don't know the person or respect someone intensely, it's sometimes easier to learn from him and accept some knowledge. Another squeeze by a very, very tight player in terms of squeezing or 3-betting 2.2%. In position though, we are very deep. We can nail him down to pretty much aces here very often. We're going to call and look at a beautiful 10 on the flop. No, it's 2 queens. It's 2 queens. Too bad on an open-end straight draw. Too bad, guys. Too bad. I was looking for a 10. Well, we're going to stab. It's cool that there's no diamond out there in my hand, because that means he's going to have aces and diamonds more often. We're going to come in straight away with the 88-9-8. That's the number I'm looking for. Just take it down. It's just so easy, guys. How many tables are you playing? I like the stream, by the way, by Pune Po. I'm playing 2 tables. You can see here the overview. Got 2 tables running and 1 replay in the bottom right corner. I like the 2 tabling format, generally speaking, specifically for Zoom. When I play regular tables, I can play more. Why not? I bet here on the smaller end. That's not the greatest turn card. Yeah. Hola amigo Dominicanic Republic. I love your stream the best. Thank you very much. So we're adding in some party poker tables. As you guys can figure at the bottom, PLO 510. We need some BAM fold. I usually don't celebrate my folds that much. 7-7-3 with 2 backdoor flush draws, some backdoor straight possibilities. Put a bet out there for a third of the pot. And a beautiful hand table number 2, Ace Jack 10-8 double suited. That's exactly what we like to look down to. Ace Jack 10-8, and he just folds. It just folds, guys. It's just too easy. No fusion confusion today. Love your stream. I actually want to bring in and sprinkle in some fusion. I'm about to make a very nice cooperation YouTube video about Fusion with someone who is very active right now in the poker community and has been for the last 1 or 2 years. But I'm not gonna spoil that already. You will see it in the next upcoming days on my YouTube channel, JNandez Poker. As we're facing another squeeze here of King 10-9, this is tricky because this player is very crazy. 64 VP IP, 36% 3-bet and 50%, 36% PFR, and his 3-bet numbers are high too. It hurts to run into aces with this hand because we're really not good against aces, but this guy is just crazy. I don't think we can hold back here. We just have to come over the top. I also don't want to play a multi-way pot out of position against these two fellows. On top, he plays 2 tables from Russia. Hard to say, hard to tell, but the stats are just too crazy. We have to go with this one. Hurts because it sounds, I mean, it feels like usually has aces, but gotta see. And over on table 1, we're gonna call a squeeze here in position. So this guy opens, I call squeeze from the big blind. We're gonna call it the nutted ace here. In the meanwhile, he shoves all in, and he has queens. We got kings. Hold him. No club. Come on. Well, that's what I'm saying, you know, like that was even one of the hands that was at the upper end in terms of like hands you can have, you know, queen, 4-5 double. And pre-flop, let's see what we have there. Well, we end up having 62.4%. That's a lot in terms of PLO. Too bad. What can we do? Getting with kings against queens. Not winning. Startup Tim says, hey JNandez, glad to see you online streaming. How much longer will you be online? It's hard to tell, you know. I usually am able to pull it off for like 2 hours in general. We'll see how the vibe goes. But you will also be able to catch up with my stream tomorrow on YouTube, JNandez Poker. And over in this table, we flop a pair, inside straight draw and a flush draw. In a single raise pot, 3-way, we're gonna call. As we're facing a raise here, I don't think we can really fold. Then if you will just have top set too often. Could obviously have the nut flush draw, but I'm also blocking like the nut flush draw and a straight draw, which is usually the combination that a raise would come in. So we're gonna call. See some turn cards. Not a great turn at all. Don't make a straight, don't make a flush. Yeah, and it doesn't add us some straight options, so I don't think we can continue here. There's an off chance he has some nut flush draws, which isn't great for us either, of course. So we're just gonna fold. Yeah, the king's situation, guys. Just nothing we can do about it. Just nothing we can do about it, you know. Check on the flop. Check on the turn. That's not a great river card at all. Flip Master, hey JNandez, I just bought your course. Great content. Well, thank you very much. And definitely, you know, hit me up on Discord. Join our Discord channel. And so I can help you to find the best content on the PLO Mastermind. Looks like on party we are now heads up, and we're gonna call it 3-bet. What is Fusion? Well, it's a mix of PLO and No Limit Hold'em. Single raise pot. Check on the flop. We call turn. And we have an easy check on the river. Against the bullets. Although I do like Spraggy, it's not Spraggy. could though be interesting. Definitely enjoy listening to Spraggy when he's talking about poker or anything really. We pick up a pretty nice hand. Double suited, connected, the ace. The dream. Let's go. Alright, run it once. Open-ended straight draw to the nuts and 2 backdoor flushies against Ozoni. It's gonna show up with 56% with the jacks. Come on, dude. Welcome to PLO, guys, man. People get rewarded with the jack 7-5. Trip suited. I mean, he ended up flopping a double gut shot, a pair, and the overpair. Still, though, it hurts. It hurts. All right, we got aces, though. Okay. Okay, let's see how good we're running today. 187. All right, all in. All in. Against an 8-9. Perfect. Guys. we need some, we need a little bit of magic right now. We need a little bit of white magic. We're running into the nuts over and over again. Had a good start, but now things are getting very, very critical very fast. When are you gonna stream Warcraft 3? That's a good question, man. It has been a pretty long time since I played Warcraft 3, to be honest. You know, like a few months now. On that note, okay. Ivanka, what's up? Good luck. Much love, brother. Thank you very much. Welcome to the live stream. That's a great turn card, by the way. Makes it a lot less likely he has a flush. Yeah. I want to make this chat window a little bit larger. Like this. Okay. So pick up kings. Check on the flop. How's your going with your marathon training, and when do you plan doing it, man? Well, I mean, right now I'm back into strength training, and I gotta say I'm really happy in terms of my progress overall, you know, physically and mentally, because I was able to lose, you know, almost like 10 kilograms, and that's pretty nice actually, and gain some strength in the meanwhile. So I'm really happy with that, but I've been doing it mainly to strength training and dieting, and the marathon preparation, you know, running 10 kilometers, running 15 kilometers, almost 20 kilometers quite frequently really helped me to just like get started becoming lighter and create more endurance. But at this point, honestly, like, isn't really my goal anymore, because I sort of like reap the rewards that I had from working on endurance. But now I don't necessarily want to lose the gains. I actually want to make some gains, so I'm back into strength training. But having the goal in the first place really helped me to get to this point. Flopping top set in a 3-bet pot and taking it down. Sambe, what is the most effective way to consume the mastermind? One day a vid and work the content, or watch a whole series then work the content? That is a great question, man. And you know, right now we are working so hard on actually improving also that user experience, so you know exactly what your path is. More about that, you know, in a very few weeks. But for the moment, I would definitely recommend to don't consume too many videos a day for sure. Like, you want to watch 1 video or 2 videos max a day and take notes, and then start implementing by working out your own database and the spots that you came across recently that were in the same topic. So if you're looking into single raise pots in position, if you're looking into 3-bet pots out of position, like filter out, for example, Broadway boards, 3-bet pot out of position, go through these hands, ask yourselves questions, post hands in the forum, and of course rewatch the footage related to the concepts. So you always want to mix it up with what do I learn on a theoretical basis in the mastermind, and go into your own content, into your own hints, in order to see how you have been applying that anyway in the past and what could be done better. And that connection point, I think, is very important to then eventually implement it in real time at the tables. So here we're looking at Ace King, Jack 10, not necessarily a 3-bet generally speaking, but this guy opens 50%. So we're gonna give him some lighter action. I mean, these guys are pretty active, man. It's Wednesday night, and we got some active dudes here. Top 2 and gut shot. The stack to pot ratio is really shallow. We're gonna pot it. In the meanwhile, we're getting some action here. 1025. Kirill sending over some bits. Is that bits? No, some cheers. 100 cheers 3 times. Well, I don't know how much this is worth, but I definitely appreciate it. Thank you very much. Definitely appreciate it. Top set on Queen Jack 7 Rainbow. Multiple ways to go here. We can either call or raise. It's definitely both cool. I love how you can watch all of this. You won't master the game and still have sessions like this. I love PLO, the great equalizer. Just gonna call here. Just gonna call because it's fun. Comes in with the double barrel. We're gonna give him the raise. We're gonna represent Queen Jack at this point. Unfortunately folds. And pretty nasty situation at 10-25, so we are in a three-way flop. And I ended up check calling the flop three-way. Calling the turn, of course, with a gut shot. And the ace king. On the river, he bets only 360 into 1,100. So obviously I'm losing against a lot of hands, but like, what is he really representing? Like king 8? King, I guess, but it's kind of hard to be beat. And not that hard. I think I am beat, but I'm just getting a really good price. So just in case he's like goofing around, we're just gonna call down. And on this table, I had 3-bet from the from the big blind against the button, top 2. And the money goes in. Against top set, are you kidding me? This is so insane. I mean, oh, 1 second. Okay, so now we pick up aces. Check here on ace 9-8. We don't really have a lot of great runouts, especially also blocking the 9 and not holding a club or backdoor spades. So we check the flop to check raise, but it goes check check. Yeah, this guy called my 3-bet with aces, and then when he flops, you know, when he flops at top set, he just jams it in. It's so hard to get action there when you have top set. But apparently I have top 2. Towley subscribed with a 1-tier sub for 8 months in a row, man. I enjoyed the zoom in effects on your Insta story today. Ha ha ha. Thank you very much. If you want to see some hand recaps of myself on a daily basis, definitely check out my Insta stories and Instagram. I recap some of the biggest hands there. Jack 7 deuce here. Just gonna fold. Just gonna fold. Be reasonable. And a668. Would be check calling the flop there with 2 backdoor flush draws. And a gut shot. So turn back gets called. I think we're just giving up at this point. I mean, obviously we have, you know, the best straight blockers, but the problem is when you open from this moment, it doesn't really matter that much. Because you just don't have 6-7 that much at all. So here the flop goes check, check, and we're now going to check raise a turn. There we go. And this is a 3-bet pot. Yeah, I'm just gonna fold the turn. Just gonna fold the turn cards. Stin, JNandez, do you have any tips on how you can work on your game yourself without PIO, etc.? I mean, PIO is not going to help you. PLO. No, at the moment, the name of the tool is Monker Solver. But obviously, I mean, there are other ways to work on your game. The best way really to work on your game is to just join the PLO Mastermind and work with the material in there. You know, we have preflop charts. We are working a lot with concepts that you can utilize in your own hand review sessions. You know, when you are reviewing hands, which I think is one of the biggest difficulties people have, like when you review a hand, you have to make sense of it, right? You have to find a solution. And I think a lot of people, they just try to make sense of it with their own logic, you know, like, oh, should I bet big or small or at all, or should I stack off in this situation? Like, you won't be able to solve this just by yourself. It's no accident that some people know what you should do in certain situations. You know, you have to research and figure it out, but you're not going to figure it out just thinking about it, which I think is what a lot of people do. You know, they think they can just figure it out themselves. That's not how good poker players become good. You're not like in a brainstorming session and suddenly you have an epiphany and thinking, oh wow, this is how you play the hand. It's not that at all. You're like researching this material, and if you're not researching it yourself, you know, put your hands on someone who did do the research. So over here, this guy's crazy in 3 bets, and the short stack that moves in, we are in with double suited kings. For sure, with double suited ace, king, king, and we are obviously ahead so far, 61.9%, 75 up to 100, take it down. Pocket aces. As we also pick up a nice hand right over here. Ace, king, queen, deuce, double suited. And this guy, Alex Mad, is definitely quite mad, and we're gonna come over the top against this guy. Usually I wouldn't 4-bet this hand, especially not on the button, and this is not the greatest flop. We have to go in for one pot size bet. Unfortunately, we have no flush draw, no backdoor flush draw. Yeah, that's really a pity. Really a pity. We end up having to reload ace king. I mean, he had a good hand there, ace king 10-6 double suited, and the flop wasn't too great for us. But there's just nothing we can do about it. We will end up having to most likely rebuy. I'll have to figure it out. But I'm definitely convinced that this guy would also be 3-betting a lot wider and calling 4-bets wide. Yeah, it seems like I want to rebuy. Let's have a look. I don't think our bluff is working so far. Yeah, not at all. I don't think the river's gonna fold much. He ended up having a straight, actually. That's interesting. Didn't jam the turn there. Okay. So we are going to reload on Hardy. As we're check raising some blockers. Very nice hand, top right corner. King, queen, jack 8 double suited. And pocket aces on the other table. And nice walk. Another very nice hand here, king, king, queen 9, and the button is really aggressive. We're gonna try to make him squeeze. Unfortunately, he folds. I mean, our hand is okay as a call. I would prefer to obviously 3-bet in general, but with this guy on the button, we ended up slow playing and flopping top set, which is definitely a good enough reason. I think we're gonna try out some fusion here just in a second. Okay. I'm gonna give fusion another shot. Especially when there's a game running. And how many games are running in fact? Only one? As we hit the nuts, the nuts, the nuts, the nuts. Pocket aces. Without an ace-high suit, we're just gonna call, trying to get Alex mad in. Maybe for a squeeze. Not a very hopeful flop there. Very small lead out from Alex. We're gonna call. See some turn cards. Not a great turn card at all. But he does check. There's some hope, I guess. A little bit of hope. But not anymore, really. As we're playing the first hand of fusion here, holding 3-3-6, which obviously are amazing blockers to the nuts on ace-5 deuce. So we're gonna raise and get called. 3-3-6-7 now, which I'm gonna pot again and take it down. First hand successful, and fusion. Top left corner, we have 3-bet from the from the big blind against the small blind. Bend the flop here, ace high. And no, this is a very general question, but in a three-way pot where we have the betting lead with aces, on a paired rainbow board, should we generally be c-betting half pot or checking multi-way? I would say generally speaking checking, but it depends how high the pair on the board is. The lower the pair on the board is, the more likely it is you should be betting. But you don't want to bet half pot, you want to bet it much smaller. And when the flop is 9 and 8, you generally are checking, not going to bet. That's way too high of a flop to consider betting with aces there, because the pre-flop hands of your opponents are connecting with 9-9-8 or 8-8-9 very, very often. On the left-hand side, we're going to 3-bet queen and 8-6, double suited against the undergun player, which is quite standard. Kalavi says, I've seen you in 10-20 heads up sometimes. How is the heads up going? It's going really well. Do you prefer to 6 max? Depends a little bit, but generally speaking, it's kind of seasonal. Right now, I prefer heads up quite a bit. But it also depends, comes and goes with seasons. And also moods, throughout the day. We're going to call 4-bet, obviously, flop a pair, and double gut shot, 7 or 10 to a straight. So the money will go in here. Now, unfortunately, we have no flush draw or backdoor flush draw, and we have 53% equity, 72 to 100. Looks like an ugly board, but we are taking it down. Check back. That's a great river card. It's reducing the chances of being beat through card removal. So we will have a very easy call. Beautiful hand. Ace, ace, 10, 10. Very nice river card. It's not that easy to get paid off here, but we're gonna bet half pot. I mean, therefore we're gonna bet half pot and trying to get a crying call. We do get the call. And guess what? We pick up pocket aces here in Fusion, making it 60. Actually, I'm going to be a lot ahead if someone comes over the top here with kings or ace king. But we are just getting called, and my opponent can easily have kings. We're just going to check and see another card at this point. Checks once again. A lot of protection required. Putting out a bet. Take it down. All right. What is your opinion on Fusion? Not sure yet, you know. Like, when it comes to these new games, right? Well, first of all, I like the game as such because, you know, it gets closer. It gets No Limit players closer to Pot Limit Omaha, right? Quite a bit, actually. So that's awesome. It just makes people more comfortable playing 4 cards because they will not receive them all at once. But the way I'm judging these games, you know, is a lot less based on whether I enjoy the game, and I do enjoy the game. I'm much more focused whether or not the game will become popular, you know. And I feel like if the game is out there only temporary, it's hard for people to catch up because they need time to learn the game and develop a certain comfort level. So I'm kind of doubtful if it catches on because it might only be out there temporarily. But I do think it has potential to get bigger, for sure. Or quite big, if you want to call it that way. But again, it highly depends how long the game will be out there. If it's a temporary thing, it's tough for people, or to convince people to put money into the table if they don't really know the game that well. But I do think it's definitely a fun game, and it creates a fun environment, and there are all sorts of reasons to quote-unquote gamble, put money into the middle and such. Very nice hand here, but I'm blind, but not a good one to 4-bet. We're just gonna call and flop top 2 pair. With 2 backdoor flush draws and straight blockers, we're gonna lead into the pot here. Against the min raise, we're not gonna fold. Flop 2 pair. You get raised. Don't have a gut shot. I think we need to give this one up. As we flop middle set 10-25. Yeah, that's not the best river card at all. Because we don't have a jack or a 10, but we also don't have diamonds. Just gonna call here, and unfortunately he ends up having the nuts. Happens. Yeah, power up is still available, but I'm not sure if it's catching on really, because it's also only available at low stakes. Who knows? It doesn't seem like that. Although that game is out for longer, I don't think it's as much fun as a game like Fusion, which is much closer to poker games that are popular, like No Limit Hold'em and Pot Limit Omaha. But again, people need time to feel comfortable putting money to the game. And also, I think it would help if there's certain certainty behind how long the game will be around. Because if the game is out there for the longer term, I think people will be more willing to also play it and get better at it, because there's a sort of like a long-term goal behind it, long-term benefits. We're c-betting here into small and big blind. Big blind is in the tank. And top left, we're gonna fold here. And top left, we're gonna squeeze ace, king, 6-5 with high suits. And the big blind with the snap cold call. So this could be quite funny. Flopping a pair in the second nut flush draw. I mean, we could consider checking, but I don't really think it's the play. Well, we could consider checking. No. I don't think so. 1 second. Turning 2 pair and 2 flush draws. That's a pretty sick turn card. And also, I think we're gonna get a lot of action here because there's so many hands that can call at this point for a pot size shove. So we're pretty excited actually at this point. All in, we have 47% against the nuts. Doesn't matter, 1.8k on the river. Bam. There we go. All right, that was pretty sweet. I mean, for some reason, it just has the nuts there. Like, what happened on the flop anyway? 1 sec. But I think he peeled the flop really light. I'm not exactly certain. I'll have to figure it out. So on the flop, he had 4, 6, 7. So he had a wrap, but at the same time, you know, against our hand, pair and a flush draw, a lot of the outs were tainted, obviously. So quite a lucky turn, but then the river is all that matters, really. 10-10-4-4 double. Reopen the button against Alex Madden. Check back on the flop. Check back on the turn. Check back on the river. And take it down. And ace, king, queen, 4 double suited. Pretty easy open under the gun. On the other side, we have Jack 10-8. Jack 10-8 king, flopping the nuts. Tycoon, sub JNandez, good luck. What is Fusion? Well, Fusion is a new format that PokerStars released where you get 2 cards before the flop and 1 on the turn, 1 on the river. And you have to use exactly 2 of your hand. So basically PLO, where you get all the 4 cards at a later point, like sequentially 2 before the flop and 1 on the flop, 1 on the turn. And it's kind of, yeah, a gateway to PLO basically for no limit hold'em players. That's the way I see it. Raise him up. Calls. Okay. Gotta go brute force. Brute force. Pick up a very nice hand, bottom left corner. Jack 10, 9, 7 double suited. Everyone folds so far. As we flop a pair and a wrap backdoor flush draw, we're gonna bet and take it down. And at fusion, queen 4 of hearts. We're defending, flopping 2 pair or top 2 pair. Could also have a set. We could have a set. We could turn a set. And over at the 500 table, we are holding pocket aces. 187 is the famous number, and we're getting it through. Six, 5 suited. Let's have a look. That's not a very hopeful flop. Not a very hopeful flop. Yep, we're not gonna win this hand. King, king. Queen 8 though. Much better. Make it 50. Check, rip the flop. And the rest is history, guys. Check, rip, check, rip. Rip? What you got? 50-50. Club it! Club! Dude. Dude. No club? Alright. Never mind. Never mind, guys. Anyway, let me know about you guys. Have you been playing Fusion so far? I mean, did you enjoy it? Do you think you have an edge in the game? You know, what matters the most for myself is, you know, how long will it be there? But more importantly, how many players are playing it until it disappears? That is super important. Tycoon, subscribe via Twitch Prime. Thank you very much. Good, thank you very much, and welcome to the team. Typhoon. It's not Typhoon, it's Tycoon, but I don't know. Reminds me of Typhoon. No, it reminds me of Tycoon. Oh, Tycoon, I understand. Okay, there we go. Queen Jack, Jack 5. Like these suited hands in Fusion, like they are tricky. They look kind of hopeful. A lot of the times they are actually much weaker than they look like. You know, although our hand is suited, which is decent in no limit, and in Fusion your hand is going to be suited anyway really often, so the Jack 6 suited doesn't really mean that much, but I can see how recreational players can like overvalue that type of hand. Pretty weird line here. So this guy limb calls and leads the flop, and now leads the turn. Yeah, it gets stranger and stranger. So lead flop, lead turn, check river, bet river large. I mean, we don't have a spade. Like we don't have a singular spade in our hand. That's really a problem. And over here we're gonna check fold. That's a bad river. A very bad river card. Oh, we split. Over on this table I call a squeeze, so the small blind squeezes, this guy calls as the open raiser. And it is tricky. Top pair gut shot and a flush blocker, flush draw blocker with the queen of clubs. Pots it. I mean, he's mainly having aces here, obviously. If he has aces and clubs, that's bad news. If he doesn't have aces and clubs, we're fine getting it in. Okay, now things are pretty clear. And he has aces and clubs. Hey JNandez, I think we need some low carb, no carb debate again. Well, nothing really changed on my end. I'm still eating low carb at the moment. And by low carb, I mean, you know, I'm intermittent fasting in a combination of like a low carb, semi-high fat diet, and really enjoying it. That's a very bad river card. Would be nice to get a big hand at 1025. That would be nice. Interesting one top left here, 9-8-6-5 double suited. JNandez on the Swedish poker site, they have a game called Flop and Go, which means that you go straight to the flop with no pre-flop game. What do you think about that format? Yeah, that is very often played in live games. I think it's a lot of fun. But you got to be careful with the rake there, really, because the edges aren't going to be very big unless you have some very, very bad players in the game. So over here, the raise and 3-bet, we're going to cold call with this hand. Generally does definitely fine against some tighter ranges in play. That's not my flop. Fusion won't be around too long, but it may pull some people into PLO. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking again. It could be a nice gateway into Pot Limit Omaha, which would be great for my end, of course, because I'm in the PLO game and PLO universe. 3-betting here, a potentially deceptive hand as I'm cold calling Jack 3-3, and we're getting squeezed. So now it's time to get a big hand at 10-25. Top here, we didn't flop much. We're gonna check fold. Time for a jack, high flop, or 3 on the board. There is my 3, baby. There is my 3. Now hold it, guys. All right, let's see what happens. Big pot. Big pot, and we flop pig. Oh, this guy pots at 1,000. There we go, guys. Hold it. Set of 3s, all in. Against bare aces. $5,357. Finally, there we go. Jack 3-3. Must be good. Getting into the mix with the same player right away again. What a beautiful hand. Jack 3-3. Call the turn. That's not a great river card at all. Finally, took one down there. Dan Few, the legend. The legend. Give me the 4. Well, I can live with that. Gut shot, flush draw, and backdoor flush draw. If he's not gonna pot, things will become interesting. But if he's gonna pot, well, yeah, if he uses that sizing, let's rip it in. Come on, Dan Few, let's rip it in. That's it. 38%. Come on. Come on, dude. Dan Few. Look at this hand, guys. 61%. Come on. We could get there. Okay, in the fusion game we have pocket queens. Definitely not too bad of a hand. And a cold call. You know, it's not as good as it gets, but it's pretty good. Considering that everyone only gets 2 cards, it's hard to beat pocket queens pre. Top right, we are 3-betting ace 8 7 5. The Dan Few hand. We're just getting a fold, really. Yeah. I mean, with a player behind, I'm gonna give it up. What dates are in Amsterdam again? 22 to 25th. 22nd to 25th. Very nice hand here. 10-25 ace, 10-10-7 double. Definitely involved. Okay. Definitely above average flop. We don't necessarily want to build a large pot. So we're going to check call flop and turn. And make some river decisions. Check river and call bet. There we go. And over on the 500 PLO table, pocket ace is double suited and connected. That's definitely worth 50-50. And the flop is quite disappointing. So we're gonna check and see it turn. Checks again immediately. I don't know. It doesn't seem like he's strong. Don't raise me. Don't do it. Don't do it. Yeah, that jam with aces there would very lose, by the way, against Jack 3-3. So he just calls. We're gonna check river and win this pot. I mean, he has all the blockers. Why is he not bluffing? We don't know. We won't know, guys. The only thing we do know is that we have to keep crushing. The nut flush draw and gutter. Getting called, turn is a 7. Let's apply some pressure here. Fold it, fold it, fold it, fold it. Foldy, foldy. Nice. The bold pressure game, guys. I'm gonna pick up 5544 against Mr. Super Active. Hopefully nobody 3-bets him so we can come into the game. There we go. But disappointing flop. Check on the turn. Gus the Nuts 9, you're a fucking beast. Thank you very much. Welcome to the live stream. Let's call it 3-bet. Let's see how beastly it gets, but unfortunately, King 10-3 rain is not the board for me here. Just isn't. I think we need to try to start another table on party, to be honest, because the game is pretty sweet. Need to try it. What a huge hand. What a huge hand. I mean, we just got the nuts. It's hard to believe we get called here by anything, but a boat as well. But he might have a boat actually. Got a 3-bet. And that is a great flop, of course. The longest thing in history. We're gonna 3-bet pocket kings here. What the fuck? He folded. Pocket kings in fusion. And I think we have top set. I think that is a set. I think that qualifies as a set, guys. You should probably bet bigger, actually, because, well, now it doesn't matter, but there's a lot of protection required in this game, specifically if we don't have a flush draw and whatnot. So, anyhow, we're all in with top set. What can we do? He has maybe a flush draw. He does have a flush draw. He does have a flush. Come on, dude. He goes all in with 2 pair and a potential not flush draw. Like, he turns the flush draw in his hand, and he turns the flush, and now he comes in with the bam. We're gonna destroy this guy. We're gonna destroy this guy. What the hell? Looking forward to see that on stream. I think we gotta wrap up the stream, guys, because I don't want to show this on stream. I think we're gonna have to cut it right here. Cutting stream right now. Cutting the stream. Let's cut it down, guys. That's it. You won't be able to hear that because I'm gonna cut down the stream. Alright, alright, it hurts. Anyway, we're playing 3 tables at 10:25 at the moment. Just been opening a few more tables, get some more action. Flopping a wrap on Jack 10-4. Check back, turn straight. Nice hand. Is this an English stream? Well, kind of. I'm trying hard. Trying. Come on, dude. Everyone folds. Queen, 8-8 double suited. What is this playlist, JNandez? Well, this playlist is from Epidemic Sounds. Those are, I mean, I have a subscription there, so I can actually utilize the sound tracks on my YouTube as well. And this album from epidemicsound.com is called The Sound of the Underground. But you need a subscription there. It's kind of like a creator platform, you know. I'm a creator, man. Got it? Kings, once again. This guy plays like every single hand. I mean, everyone plays sort of every single hand. This guy that put the bam on me plays 78% of hands. I mean, he has to call. He has to call. He has to call or 3-bet. I don't care. Okay. 45, guys. Snap call. Like, what are you snap calling in this game? Like a suited hand? I don't get it. Okay, everyone calls. What is he snap calling this Argentine god? Dude. Dude, we got a 4. Nah, it hurts. We got 2 kings and a 4. So if someone has 2 jacks, we're done. But we're gonna get all sorts of action against Jack X as well. We could have a set of 4s. We could have Jack 4. Oh, goodness, this is tough now. I mean, the board is dry. I'm not sure, to be honest. I'm not sure what to do here. But at the end of the day, I don't think I can be ahead that much, to be honest. You know, how am I going to be really much ahead? Yeah, I mean, he bets and he could have all sorts of hands. He can have Jack X or he can have something better, but he's going to have at least Jack X. So I'm going to fold. Fold like a bitch. Unfortunately. I mean, I can't imagine this is a very good run out for me. Yeah, that's Jack 3. A crazy game, guys. Bottom left, I raise the cutoff, check back the flop, check back the turn. We are trapping. And I'll be betting the river here. JNandez printing again. Are there new videos planned with the Mastermind guest coaches? Well, currently there are no videos planned with the Mastermind guest coach because we are like restructuring a lot of the content that we're doing in a way that that focuses more on progression. You know, I think the main focus of any training site really should be to help people with the progression become better, and that's what we're putting our focus on right now. So it's not really the quantity or diversity of videos, really. It's just like what makes people better and provide that in the clearest path possible. We got aces, guys, and this guy's desperate, but not desperate enough to 3-bet, unfortunately. Well, this is a good flop. This is some good shit here. 58. He calls. Time to get polar. $220. What a sick flop. Look at this flop. 10-6-6. I mean, we can't even bet. It's so hard to get action. So many draws in the turn. I try to induce something by betting 25. Raise me. Alright, just folds, unfortunately. What a sick flop. Lol. River's boat. Okay. That's a nice heads up hand. That's a huge flop. A huge flop, guys. Unfortunately, no action though. And a set. JNandez, how are the ranges changing when you're large or deeper than 100 big blinds? Well, like the GTO adjustments are not that different, or not as different as you might think. You know, you're gonna cold call a bit more in position, you're gonna 3-bet more in position, you're gonna 3-bet less out of position. Like these kind of ideas. What's much more interesting though is how the range is changing from an exploitative perspective. And that is really where a lot of the edge lays in people who are playing deep stacks and people who are as well, but they're not understanding these differences that well. A lot of it just comes down to, you know, how willing is your opponent to 4-bet wide. And if the answer is he's not really 4-betting that wide because although he plays deep stacks, he's not comfortable losing 200 big blinds at all, then you can start exploitatively 3-bet it a lot more. That's really where it becomes interesting. So it can be very different in terms of the strategy. It doesn't have to be very different though. Depends on how good your opponents are adjusting. Pick up ace-jack suited in the fusion game. Potting it up. And unfortunately we get squeezed. Have a look at the flop there. That's not great. We don't even have a flush draw. He checks pretty quickly. That's surprising. But we don't have much. If we don't have much and he doesn't have much, it's likely that this guy on the button has a lot. Now we turn the nuts. We did turn the nuts. And we're going to protect this hand here. Potting. Fernando, what HUD are you using for fusion? It's just hold the manager here, the same thing. I think it just grabs these hands and assumes it's like hold them or something. Quads. Okay. Still playing 3 PLO tables, 1 fusion game, right? Guys, if you don't know what fusion is, you can use exclamation mark fusion. I think so, at least. Pretty interesting hands over this table. Oh wow, racing 3-bet. Gonna call. Okay. Gonna play a big pot, guys, here. We're not gonna play a big pot. So much potential. Also for turn cards on this board. Ooh, it's a tricky one. I think we're gonna try, to be honest. One sec. Bam! That's because people give you a lot of credit. Give you a lot of credit when you raise in the multi-way pots. There we go. A lot of credit. JNandez playing a lot of credit. Build up over the years. And build up the credibility to bluff in this spot. What happens here? Dude. So he stabs turn, bets river. Bam! Unstoppable now. Just the 8. Unstoppable, guys. Unstoppable. What a beautiful bluff. So convincing, guys. So convincing. Okay, so we have a boat here. He checked all the way. And raise him up in the river. In a second, then over here we got 3-bet. We flop basically everything. We're gonna get the money in here any second. Raise it up to 600 bucks. Nice, we get called. All in on the flop. Infusion, we have 60%, 50%, 100%. That's a very sweet switch from 50% to 100%. I like that kind of switch, guys. I like that kind of switch a lot. And very decent blockers over here. We get raised small. Get raised small. And over here I 3-bet pre. And I'm coming in with the check. Getting raised really small. I think we're gonna just see a sweet 9 on the turn. No, but it is a flush draw. So you check raises small on the flop. You check raises small on the flop. Like, what are you telling me you have here? Like, just flop the straight, that's it? Bam! We were trying to fool with flop a set and a flush draw and a gut shot, guys. In a 3-bet pot, playing heads up PLO here against Alex Matt. There are different viable strategies at this point, but I think we're just gonna pot it and roll the dice here. Trying to get a hand in like ace, ace, king with clubs. I mean, not with clubs really, but with spades. That would be nice. 3 of a kind tens. Yes, we have trips set basically. And the flush draw and a gut shot. The money goes in. Massive pot, guys. Against... Fuck! Ugh. Against the huge hand, obviously. Massive pot there. Unfortunately, I guess we lose. I mean, flop is... You know, we had 51.5% equity here. Losing the $7,700 flop. I mean, we flop massive. There's nothing we can do, really. I'm gonna rejoin the table in a moment here. That was unfortunate, guys. We flopped so massive. I was so excited about this hand. Set and a flush draw. We're making some good decisions though today, I think. Doing pretty fine so far. That would have been our pot. What was the point of bluffing? Well, I mean, apart from the $1,000 side pot, there was also a $4,000 pot, and I had a pretty decent chance at winning. Like my other opponent had a random hand, basically. I mean, not a completely random hand, but you know, I can easily hit a 10 or like a 1-pair holding and just win there against my other opponent. So I think I'm risking very little to actually get into the spot. I was risking, you know, only 1 point, like almost, not even 1.1k. So I'm risking like very, very little, but it looks super convincing. So sometimes, you know, it looks weird, but when you think about how much is already in the pot and how big my raise is, it was very, very cheap. So that's the main thing to keep in mind there. Okay, flop 2-pair. I check back here. Turn. Check the river. Too bad. Fusion game. Raise the button. And see bet small. In the meanwhile, we 3-bet king, queen, queen, 10. Now this game fills up. This is the game we played before. Heads up. I'm just gonna check the flop. Trying to check this down here. Yeah, that hand hurts, guys. Set and a gut shot and a flush draw. 7k pot. Those are the pots we need to win, of course. Huge hand, 10-20 or 10-25. Ace, ace, deuce, deuce. And over on fusion, we have ace, king suited. So we're gonna make it 333. Flop trips on fusion here. Definitely some draws are out there, which we don't have. As we are squeezing ace, ace, deuce, deuce with the nut suit, getting one fold. And one call, flopping top set, 777 in the middle. There are different viable strategies here, betting small, betting large. We're gonna go with pot, just pot size. Really depends on like our side cards in this specific case. And back to earth. That's a great comment. Yeah, that's poker, man, in a nutshell. Up and down, up and down. Suddenly you're on top of the world, and suddenly it's a huge swing backwards. Yeah, but this is what happens, you know. This is the name of the game. It's what we signed up to. This insanity. Anyway, guys, I hope you guys are enjoying yourself. If so, let me know. There's no thumbs up or anything, but there is a follow button, I guess. You can follow the stream. You can follow me on Instagram at JNandez Poker if you want to see, you know, some hands broken down in more detail, which I do in my Insta stories. You can see the hands that I played yesterday. Heads up PLO. Had some high stakes. They're already on my Insta story. You know, I publish them now on a regular basis. So definitely do check it out. I see some more guys are following now since the stream has started, but not enough. Only 4 new guys. We're getting closer to 10,000 mark. So definitely check out the Instagram. Guys, we are still live here on Instagram. Not on Instagram, once again. Guys, we are still live here on Twitch, playing 1025 primarily, and also some fusion, huge swings, huge pots, a lot of fun, pain, and... well, and also some happiness. Join us on Twitch right now. Let's try to get the happiness through, guys. Okay, that is a potential hand that can lead to happiness. Let's see. Bend the flop. And fold. Bam! Okay, queen, queen, 3-3. Certainly a hand worth playing in most circumstances. Okay, 75. And call. Okay, we're gonna bet the flop. Not a great turn. 10. Where's the king? I don't know who Marco Yolo is, to be honest. He doesn't play on the other table. It kind of scares me to check raise bluff him. Kinda scares me, but sometimes you gotta go where the fear is, guys. Raise it up 1,125. Bam! There we go. There we go. Not playing around here. We're not playing around. Ace, King, 10, 7. Take it down pre. Come on, bros. Don't knit around. Another raise here. $85. Alex, Matt. We need to win back some money against this guy. Alright. Check back on the flop. Turn a gut shot. It's really not much to work with here. It's not much to work with, really. In the meanwhile, making some light peels here on the button. Queen Jack 6-4. I mean, it's totally fine at the high stakes because of the rake, which is pretty small. All right, that's a really good card. You're gonna have 2 kings, obviously. Still playing some aces on the flop. We're gonna bet out here, 134. Check, check, and take it down. Those are the 2 kings I'm talking about. Fusion. King, queen, cold call in the small blind against the button open. Sure, why not? Well, didn't really hit what we wanted to hit, but there is some potential in my hand. I can see some potential. The hearts, the clubs, the straight draws. And we do pick up the hearts at least, but we don't have a straight draw, unfortunately, man. This is not the best hand to bet out. Yeah, Fusion definitely has more variance, but that's a good thing, you know. People are always scared of the variance. That would, you know, if you enter a game with more variance, you're usually going to attract more recreational players, and that's the price to pay to play against weaker opponents, is to just withstand more variance, you know. Think about tournament poker. Tournament poker has a huge amount of variance. It attracts the softest people. You know, it's obviously a pain to play tournaments in the first place because you just have to play 12-hour sessions all the time. But generally speaking, I hope you guys get the idea. More variance, more recreational players. Got it? Good. Unfortunately, we have to let this one go here. King, King, 5-4. I think we have to let it go. As we're opening Queen 9. El Chote, subscribe with your Twitch Prime. Thank you very much. Le Chote. I appreciate it though. Thank you very much. Say hello in the chat. And welcome to the team. Queen Jack off. Easy defend. Come on, dude. Let's play. I'm not sure what happened with my hold'em manager. It looks like it reset or something like that in the Fusion game. Pretty good flop. Pocket aces. Pocket aces on party. So he checks back on the flop right over here. And you know what? I'm going to take a stab on the turn. We could have a flush, but also we're blocking flushes. He just check back on the flop. You know, all sorts of things. All sorts of reasons. Take it down over there. Gut shot, nut flush draw. I'm almost thinking we have the nut flush draw already. We have a lot of backdoor potential. Are we gonna check back or bet the ace, queen 7-4? I think we're gonna just check. A lot of gut shots out there that can call, like the 10-7-8, 10-jack-9, queen-jack combos, king-x obviously. Just gonna check back and see a turn. King, queen, queen 7 rainbow. All right. Just check back. Check. fold even against a small bet. Defend a7, 3-3. Take a shot on the turn. Take it down and flop top set. Yeah, that is not my river. Yeah, it definitely wasn't. Definitely wasn't. Looks like one guy just got stacked in the fusion game here. Quads. Very nice hand. Ace-8, 5-4, double suited. Alex, Matt, we want to see some action. Don't fold. Just go ahead and 3-bet. Let's play some poker. Come on, dude. Come on, dude. You can handle this guy. We're gonna jump right back into some zoom on top to get more action. As we flop trips. Trips. We're gonna check back. Let's, every once in a while. Every once in a while. I'm gonna raise the turn. There you go. Calls the raise. Calls the raise. He calls the raise. Kind of scared. Yeah, I mean, this hand is not gonna call anyway. And in position, I just called Queen Jack 7-9. Usually I would 3-bet this hand, but I want to get some of these guys in. That would be nice. And on the flop, we're going to take a stab. Foldy, foldy. He continues 2 flush draws, a gut shot, a pair. I mean, we got a lot of stuff to work with here. I mean, if you check calls the flop, you might have backdoor spades as well. No, we don't mind. Okay. Playing the pressure game. Heads up, Sit and Goes has a lot of variance. No. We catch some really nice hands in this 3-handed game. It's about time to stack Alex with these kind of flops. Nobody can work with these kind of flops. What we're supposed to do here? Check all the way. Nice. Nice. Currently sitting out on the fusion game because I want to get some hands in PLO. Flopping set. A royal flush is possible here. Check. Where's the 10? As we pick up a huge hand. Huge hand incoming. Ace Ace King Jack. In position. And we are blocking some stuff here with the Jack. Backdoor spades. It's a tricky one. Jack back. Very nice turn. We're blocking jacks. And 4x is pretty unlikely. down. Check it. Check it, 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 check it. Another pretty nice hand, actually, in the three-handed game, which now turns into a four-handed game. Top pair and a flush draw. Backdoor flush draw on top. Hey, I love you, man. Love the Instagram page. Please stream more often. From Best Bestie Kuhn. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Again, guys, if you like the content a ton, if you want to get better at Pot Limit Omaha, I hope you guys know where to go. PLO Mastermind at JNandezPoker.com. In terms of recreational streams like this one, now I'm trying to make one a week. Can't promise though, or won't promise. Huge hand. Let's go for 280. Ace, Jack, Jack, 9 double suited. Time to stack, Alex. It's time to stack him. We don't want to see a 4-bet. Don't want to see a 4-bet. We want to stack his ass. Can we do it, guys? It's not the best flop here to work with. I'm gonna see bet the 190, no, 192. Take it down. That's fine too. Completely fine on my end. Please add Zoom PLO. Just did that. Building some deep stacks here, guys. At the moment, we're down $3,000 though, because we have been losing at the wrong games. But you know, playing 10-25, $3,000 is just the buy-in basically. So we're not gonna get ourselves. We're not yet in trouble. That's what I'm saying. But there are some interesting games running, so thinking about adding even more action to party. I mean, 4 tables is already quite a bit. And I like to have the zoom element here in as well. Just like gives us more hands. So we're gonna stick to what we have here. Oh wow, we misclicked the we misclicked 8-8 deuce deuce on the button, but not a huge deal. It just looked so bad. I saw like 8-8 deuce, and it's like 8-8 deuce. I don't care what the next card is, but it was a deuce, so should have cared. C-bet against the one and only Dan Few. He calls, which is not great. When he calls in the small blind, he just has so many overpairs. Oh, beautiful, baby. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. What are you gonna do? Okay. I'm gonna go to 100 straight. 100 straight, guys. Just 100. He calls. He calls. He calls. How can we win a hand against the aces? That's what I told you guys. Just so many aces there. And we're opening 8, 6, 7, 7 on the button. 10-25. And we call a 3-bet. We snap call a 3-bet. The flop isn't too bad, but it's also not great. He doesn't check, unfortunately. We don't have the open ender. We just have the gut shot, the backdoor flush draw. That can also get us into a lot of trouble. Kind of hurts, but we have to fold here. It's just such a large bet. And I don't think people are going to show which spare aces when they bet this large. Yeah, we just don't have it. We just don't have it, unfortunately. It hurts. Had some potential there, though. Ace, jack, 6-5 double suited. Okay. We're gonna check back, see a turn, and make it 50 against the blue fox. And we're gonna pot it. Wait, we're gonna bet 50. And over here, excuse me, but we have the nuts. We're gonna make it $1,000. $1,000. That's all it takes. $1,000. Are we about to work ourselves out of the hole? Not yet. King, queen, queen, 9. Double suited, just flatted here in MP. Pretty standard against the under the gun open. And the flop isn't too promising, unfortunately. But we have a promising flop right over here. Top set on jack, 7 deuce. Jack, jack, 3, 9. He raises the small blind. I call. From the big blind, I check call flop. We're going to extract some value here. We're not going to go with 370, 325. The magic number is 339. That's the magic number right now. Sometimes you got to feel out what the magic number is. He calls again. We river a flush. And I don't think we should bet again here. Like, is he going to call another bet on the river without a flush? I don't think so. And there are not many weaker flushes. We're just going to check. Take this pot down here, $1,048. Ace, ace, 10, 5. Wow. Ooh, we're deep, guys. We are 400 big blinds deep. We got double suited aces. This is an interesting spot here. We're definitely going to 4-bet, and he's definitely going to call, and we're going to be we're going to be in trouble, most likely. Let's solve this. Let's do it, guys. Ooh. Are we in trouble, guys? Are we in trouble? What should we do? Check to check rip or c-bet? We have the backdoor flush draw. We are blocking straight with a 5. So I think we just have to put out a bet here. It's tricky. I almost want to bet smaller to induce. We're gonna go large. Ooh, guys, are you ready for this? Are you ready for this? In the meanwhile, we get 3-bet over here, which we're gonna call. And we're gonna check the flop in a moment. Guys, this could be an 800 big blind pot. Are we ready? Seatbelt. I'm all in, baby. All in. Do it. Do it. Let's go, guys. We got the nuts. I told you we might get into trouble. We are not in trouble. We have the nuts for a huge, massive pot. He folds, unfortunately. In the meanwhile, at 10.25, we're going to play a massive pot as well here. We got aces, and we did get 3-bet and cold called. We're going to make it $1,200. $1,200, guys. Alex, Matt, what are you going to do, bro? $1,200. He calls. Wow, we hit the board, guys. We're gonna smash the money in the middle. Not flush draw, over a pair, blocking the 3 as well. All in. What are you gonna do? We're all in, guys. Massive pot here. If he calls, over 10,000. He folds. Bam! Win against Real Perky, $8,190. We're sitting on $10,736. And in terms of results, we're up $1,200. We're back in the spin. We're playing some huge pots here suddenly. I mean, if he would have called, we didn't make the flush, but still, I mean, probably would have lost if he tanks and folds. This was huge, guys. This was huge. A few huge pots. Here. JNandez is the best PLO and poker in general content. That's why I have notifications on when he streams, because he's a fucking crusher. I like that comment. Appreciate it. You know, it's so funny to me when, you know, on Instagram I get a lot of very positive messages, but sometimes one guy comes in and it's like, you know, if you're making all this money playing poker, why are you streaming? Why are you creating content? You know, like why? Dude, come on, man. Yeah, you should do what is fun. You know, you shouldn't like put a transactional value on everything. The ROI of everything doesn't really matter all the time. You know, just being out here, playing poker, streaming, talking about it. That's what life quality is all about. Doing exactly what you want to do. And if it is freaking 1 a.m. in the morning and I play some high stakes PLO and stream it, I'll do it, you know. On top of that, you can be even in a win-win situation, you know. I can even get some new clients, some new members into the mastermind while doing this and having fun. So, and as I'm saying that, we should definitely get into my favorite song. All right, guys, we're gonna come in with another squeeze here. 365. We got ace, king, king, 8. Single suited. I don't know who Master Dot is. He calls my squeeze. This could get dicey, guys. Okay. Okay. King ball, king ball, king ball, king ball, king ball. 4? Check it, check it, check it. King ball! Let's go, man. I mean, he's only gonna call if he has a 4. If he has a 7, he's only gonna call if he has a 7. But that being, I mean, he could have a7, baby. $1,400. Do it. Do it, do it, do it. Do it, do it. All right. What is your outro song? I love it, but I forgot its name. Well, I guess you're referencing the song that I just played here. And not this one, obviously, but this one. One more time. It's called Touchdown. Touchdown, baby. Man, I love this song. I'm serious, you know. We're getting deep, guys. We got $5,000 over here, $10,000 over there, $2,800 at 2.5. And we got Gerard opening. We're just gonna call this dude. We flop almost the nuts. I mean, we got 2 pair double gut shot and go for $30 straight. Yeah, now we're gonna go for $90 straight, like fast, you know, quick $90. And on the river, I mean, a lot of draws busted. We could get called by some hand that is light, but not that many, honestly. He's not gonna have 8-5 or 9-5 that often. I mean, he is kind of crazy. He could have these kind of hands. Gotta have ace-4, ace-4 in general, 6-4. Goodness, I think we can actually squeeze out some value here. Kind of afraid of getting raised. I think we can squeeze out like another $75. Nice, so important. Huge, guys. It's important to take extra value or get extra value in these. You see, like he calls with queens here on the river, even if he blocks hearts himself. So that is huge. Definitely huge. What's up, JNandez? I never caught your stream when it was live before. It must be either really early or really late out there in Switzerland. It is 1 AM right now, so it's moderately late. Or early. Goodness, what a song, guys. Okay, we got another set, guys. Working on a different set. Put on the hoodie. All right. Another huge hand on table 2. Ace, King, Jack, 8 double suited 3-bet versus a small bet open raise. And this is not a satisfying flop at all. In the meanwhile, we're getting check called on the flop, check called on the turn. We still have a set of jacks. We're certainly going to value bet the river while I check back here on the top. And on the river, I think we can go for like a half pot size bet here. Don't want to see that check raise. Nice, he calls. Sweet. Double suited aces on the top right against Alex Matt again. Let's hope he faces the 3-bet. He doesn't. I'm gonna go for 280. That's not the flop I was looking for. Yeah, that's not the flop I was looking for. We have the backdoor flush draw. Wow, now that is a great turn. And I do think there is some value, actually. Calls a turn. I bet the river for sure. Gonna bet the river here for 400 bucks. Did he call? I think he did call again. It's pretty sick. I think he did call again, right? We're getting so much thin value tonight. Where's the... I think, yeah, where's the summary? He did call with jacks on the river. Beautiful. Beautiful, guys. Hey, JNandez, where are your favorite songs? And The Living is Easy. Good luck on the tables. Thank you very much, Mika. Well, I'm not gonna play, you know, like copyrighted songs because otherwise I can't use the footage on YouTube. It gets blocked worldwide, and you guys cannot rewatch this stuff afterwards. So we have to work with copy-free music or music from the services like Epidemic Sound, where I'm a member and I can utilize the footage, aka the music. And not every song is as cool as the playlist at JNandez Poker, but that's what we have to work with. Here we're betting basically with a blocker against Skier Void, taking it down. 10-8-8-6, not a great flop. JNandez, not this one, the older one with the speech in it. Do you remember? Yeah, that one was... One sec. Well, who remembers, guys? The old intro and outro song with the speech in it. Very popular song. I'm sure someone knows, guys. Please let them know in the chat. At Bimbo. Alright, so here we're gonna call, obviously. Dude, just check the turn. Jams the turn. I'm not gonna do it. We're not gonna make it. Alright guys, things are going great now. We're up $3,000. I was down like 6, no 5.5. Is that Bill Perkins? Listen, this is not the real Bill Perkins, okay? I actually know who it is, but we're not gonna reveal it. Back into the grind, guys, here with 10, Queen, 6, 7 double. The real Bill Perky goes out and calls. And check back the flop. Turns an 8. We're getting check raised on the turn. It's very surprising here. How does it even make sense? Guys. Okay. Perky. Well, that hand felt like the real Bill Perkins, although I don't. At Jack 10, 8, 4. And the button is just too active to pull this one off here. It's too active. JNandez, bring Jack Guevara back on the stream. He was in a picture actually recently on Instagram, in case you were able to spot him with the BAM pullover. Shadow Maniac, you know I love you, but as someone whose English is not his first language, please say in the meantime instead of in the meanwhile. Shadow Maniac wants to improve just as such as you want to improve the Maniac. In the meanwhile, in the meantime, I can definitely adjust. So what happens here as I'm missing out here on the nut flush blocker against Tony? Tony, you got it? You don't? You don't apparently, you don't. In the meantime, we got ace, 10, 6. Yeah, you can definitely also record, you know, without the music and then put different music below it. But I think that's okay if you do highlights. But if you show the whole stream, you know, you want to give away the actual feeling of the stream. And as I'm working with the music together, sort of, it would come off kind of weird if it's a different soundtrack, you know, because I got some moves. Talking about moves, we got aces awaiting the 3-bet here from Alex Matt. He doesn't 3-bet, unfortunately. Take it down pre-flop. And on the bottom right corner, we're gonna open the ace jack 10-9. Hey, can you please give me some advice on where to begin with the PLO Mastermind? I want to be a crusher like you, but I don't know where to start. There are so many things at the same time. I'm gonna get into that just in a microsecond. So how do you start in the PLO Mastermind? If you are new to the PLO Mastermind, you definitely want to check out the PLO Launchpad. The PLO Launchpad is exactly my introduction to people who are just getting into PLO, basically, you know, and also people who are not necessarily only getting into PLO, but also people who are new to my approach. You know, what are my fundamentals? With what kind of concepts am I working in order to explain the game, and what kind of concepts are being used in order to build the PLO Mastermind and afterwards. So definitely check out the PLO Launchpad. Always feel free to hit me up on Discord personally, you know, DM me, let me know what you're struggling with, let me know what your questions are. I'm in there every single day to help you out. But definitely start out with the PLO Launchpad if you are new to PLO Mastermind. We're gonna raise up here, top 2 pair flush draw. I had to talk there a little bit fast because we're running out of time on the time banks. But yeah, we are right now like improving the experience in the PLO Mastermind so that you guys have a better path on where to start based on your skills, based on your background, based on your experience, and also based on your visions of what you guys want to work on. And that's right now being built. We just changed the development team. We're putting tons of money in terms of UX research as well as development, and like these things will be inbuilt. I don't want to promise something too much, but we're trying to get it there until the end of the year to have like some really new cool stuff out there. But in the meanwhile, always, you know, feel free to hit me up. I talk to Mastermind members almost every single day in person as well, because they might be struggling with what kind of content to go through, what the methodology is behind it, or they're just struggling in general with certain things. You know, I'm always around there to help you guys out, especially throughout the day, as I'm not grinding, but working on JNandez Poker throughout the day. So always feel free to hit me up for sure. And I mean it, really, on Discord. We are squeezing here a hand that can hit some pretty nice boards, and also is squeezing because we're in the hopes to get like kings to fold sometimes. And here with a blocker and an ace high board where we have a lot of aces, we're gonna bet and get 2 guys to fold. Looking for some good songs now on that playlist. What happened? Getting 3-bet here by Gerard, who is a pretty crazy fellow. What is this? Lol. Trap City, huh? We're getting squeezed here with Rainbow Ace King King, and this is a good candidate to just let go. Top right, I just defended with bad aces, deep out of position. Not bad aces, mediocre aces. We're quite deep though. I don't mind, just flatting. So flop goes check check, and on the turn we're trying to just induce a bet at this point. And the bet is coming in. I'm gonna call. Oh, sick river. Sick river. Okay. On the 500 table, we're playing against the legend, the Cleaner 11. And I'm gonna lead right into him on 754 with some reasonable blockers. Switzerland is banning offshore casinos. What will you do, JNandez Poker? Will you relocate? No, I will not relocate. I mean, most likely not. Trying to figure out what else is going to work out. But not for the moment. And I'm not in a hurry to figure it out, basically. Yeah, interesting late night games for sure on Party. I mean, the pool on 500 is also fine. It's not amazing. I guess like a lot of recreational players are already gone. And again, guys, if you want to follow me on live trips, I'm gonna go to Amsterdam in about a week in order to play the Poker Classics over there. If you want to see more of that, then definitely check out my YouTube channel, JNandez Poker, and subscribe, because I'm going to make a vlog about it. And then also in December, I'm going to go to the EPT Prague and make a blog about it as well, or a vlog about it. And check out that kind of stuff. Then follow me on YouTube. And I'm streaming here on Twitch on a non-regular base, and I usually go put out an Insta story before I go live, so if you want to stay up to date, and also if you want to see the hand reviews that I put out there on Insta stories now on almost daily basis, then you know, follow me on Instagram at JNandez Poker. We're gonna go ahead and call. Got some blockers to work with here. We're almost at 10,000 followers on Instagram. That would be nice to hit the 10K here before the end of the year. So definitely tell your grandmother and mother to follow me as well, so we can move up to 10K ASAP. That's a pretty poor card. We are here almost 3 hours in the books. Man, hope you guys are enjoying it. It seems like you're enjoying it, so appreciate that. If you haven't seen the full stream, you know, you can check it out tomorrow on YouTube. I'm gonna upload the whole thing. I'm gonna be live here for another 15 minutes. If you have any questions, any comments, at JNandez Poker, of course. On 10-8-4, we have reasonable blockers with an 8 and not a lot of incentive to check. JNandez, how much do you make a month from every income source you have? 10 to 50k a month for gross profit a month. JNandez Poker. Well, honestly, like I have really no interest in sharing that, to be honest. I don't see any advantages, but I'm doing pretty good for myself, so can't complain about that. This is a funky spot. I mean, it's not really a funk. What is he doing? So he leads the turn, leads the river. Check, check, flop, lead turn, and lead river. Really? I'm so confused. All right, that resolves my confusion. Calling 3-bet here, out of position, we're deep. Yeah, that's not my flop. That's such a cheap bet. We have a gut shot and a backdoor flush draw. Backdoor straight draw. It's definitely not great. Can we pull out the graph on the screen, JNandez? Yeah, I think we're gonna do that right now when I'm ending the stream, basically. Show you guys the graph of today. The graph of the day. Where are you from, JNandez? From Switzerland. Facing a C-bet, I mean, we do already have some showdown value, specifically against a 54% VPIP guy. Yeah, that's not a great run out at all. At all, guys, at all. Very nice hint at the 10-20 game or 10-25 game. The ace 10-9-8, I could definitely also 4-bet this candidate. I don't think my opponent has been very active so far. It's a pretty standard 4-bet, but dude, I'm not sure if he is the guy to 4-bet really with this candidate. I think this is true. Marco Yolo, 69. Oh, this guy 4-bets. That makes it kind of easier. Yeah, I think I would have ended up calling, I guess. It's close. Let's see how this hand's gonna play out. All in, call. Yeah, call. We would have stacked this guy. Yeah. Well, other guy had aces, so it doesn't matter. All right, we're gonna stand up here on this table on that one as well. And we're gonna bring in the stats right over here. Definitely a quite swingy session today. And we played multiple stakes, so it is quite normal to have like these large swings. If you look at the big blinds, you know, we were quite stable for the most part, and then winning like 5-6 binds at the end. Specifically at PLO 500. And it was rather stable in terms of big blinds, but obviously in terms of monetary swings, because we lost some large pots at 10-25, we ended up in the hole to begin with. And in terms of the biggest hands, in case you guys haven't seen it, I'm gonna just open it up right now. Some of the biggest hands, I don't want to show you guys which one I'm opening, otherwise you know whether I won or lost. Well, I mean, one of the most exciting ones was definitely this one here. We got the bullets, 1025. There's a raise, there's a call. I come over the top to $1,200. There's a call, another call, and it's gonna be a huge pot. Obviously, we got the overpaired and not flush draw. We're gonna jam $3,600. SPR1 exactly with player 5. He folds though after a long tank, and then the very short stack player calls, and he ends up having the king jack 1010. Dragged down a 5k pot. In this hand, we won $3,378. Another interesting hand was the 1025 heads up hand where we got 3-bet and call. Flop is jack 10-5 two-toned, and we flop a set, a flush draw, and a gut shot. Deep stacked here, semi-deep stacked. Raising the flop, getting it in, and we turn nuts. Running here against the flop wrap and not flush draw. So on the flop, we are at 50-50. Turn. Wait, the turn, or on the turn, we are still only 60%. And unfortunately on the river, he makes the nuts, and we end up losing $3,299 in the process here. Then we have this hand, jack 3-3, which we cold called. Facing a squeeze and a call, we call as well. And flop a set of 3s. And my opponent, who ended up squeezing here the ace 7-4, ends up potting, which is a pretty interesting move. I would probably recommend betting half pot, but that's for a different discussion. The money goes in, and we have 86%. Take it down here, 5.3k pot, winning 2,800. Another interesting hand. Yeah, it was probably this one. Controversial hand. Raise and 3-bet. We cold call with 10-9-6-7, like two tight ranges. We're gonna do very well with this hand. Equity wise, this guy 4-bets, declaring he has aces, and we call as well, of course. So at this point, you can see like this guy has only 717 left. And we are getting in 1,200 roughly into the pot. So there is a pretty big side pot already in the middle. My opponent goes ahead and c-bets here, 463. And now, as you can see, in the middle here is 1,000 cold, or side pot more so. And then overall, $3,600. So I'm going to raise to 1,095. So I'm risking 1,095 to win, first of all, the 1k on the side immediately. And then I still have a shot with 2 backdoor flush draws and straight draws and potential pair outs to win the whole thing as well. So I think this is very credible very often. My opponent ends up folding, and we run into ace king king with the backdoor flush. We end up scooping the whole thing, but as you can see, the first part we won either way. I mean, there's 1.5k in the middle. This one here we also additionally won because my opponent bet folded, so very nice there. And I think that's pretty much it when it comes to these hands. I hope you guys enjoyed another stream. And we'll tune in the next time as well. Again, if you want to see more of these hand breakdowns, Instagram is the name of the game, JNandez Poker. Would be happy if you guys are following me there. Until then, over and out for another stream, JNandez, aka Fernando. Take care, good luck at the tables, and keep crushing.